Welcome, beautiful, divine human beings who want to feel better and feel empowered. There's part 2 to the Perfect Health by Deepak Chopra and Eat, Feel Fresh, Contemporary Plant-Based Ayurvedic Cookbook. This has yoga and Ayurveda she puts together, very modern. This book I got back in 2001, but it's older than that. Anyway, quick review. Go back to the past video, we just went over that, but I want to just add a couple of things here that what would indicate that you're out of balance. So the out of balance VATA will be cold, crampy, pains. Just think of like getting zapped out. The out of balance PITTA is they're hot, there's inflammation, you feel thirsty all the time. I'm thirsty all the time at nighttime. And then the PITTA, VATA, just so you know, it might be obvious to some people. And then out of balance KAPHA, you're heavy, congested, lethargic. So when you're looking at Ayurveda and you're looking at balancing your current condition, you're looking at body and mind. So there's two parts to it that you treat differently. And in my opinion, this is how I've come to understand this. This is an ancient system. I'm giving you a rundown of something that's 5,000 years old in 6 or 7 minutes. So it's not going to be a complete explanation, but this will give you the gist of it. So I did mention in the past video about the 5 senses, your touch, taste, sight, sound, and smell. If you're talking about the body, if you're having the imbalance in the body, which you will find from the Dosha quiz, the CHOPRA.com, take the free Dosha quiz, you will find that you have a condition of your body and you have a condition of your mind now, and that you were born with possibly a different condition of your body and different condition of your mind, and that'll help you figure out what you need to change. So for instance, and this is just in contrast to Western medicine. So touch, so let's just give a massage as an example. If you were a VATA type that's out of balance, and you thought you wanted a balancing massage, your massage would require that, it would assume that you're anxious and you need to be calmed down. So you need a heavier oil like avocado oil, and probably strokes that are more slow and calming and soothing to get that VATA calmed down, get that air ether that's going ga 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 and calm it down. So that is what kind of touch that would require to bring it back to balance. If you were a PITTA type, all angry, anxious, angry and hostile and feeling hot, then a better choice for a massage oil would be something like coconut oil, which has a cooling effect by nature. It has a natural SPF of 2 or 4, I don't remember which, but it is cooling by nature. And you're not going to want to do like really rigorous movement because that's going to be too heating. You don't want to add to the heat. So it might be heavier, more intense and deep, but not rigorous where you're creating more heat. Maybe you're breaking up some of that yuck in the body. And then if you find you're the KAPHA type, then the type of, you're already heavy and slow and water, earth, like moving like mud. I'm not calling you mud, I'm just saying you might be moving more slowly. And that would probably require a lighter oil, like grapeseed oil, something that's light, and that would probably require a more vigorous massage to get your blood going, so it starts uplifting you. So you want this to have uplift effect, this to cool, and this to calm. That's what it would do as far as the touch is concerned. For all of them, there's something called ABHY. I'll put it over here so I can actually write the whole word. ABHYANGA, Abhyanga. Look that up, and then, and you know what, go on YouTube. You could find anything on YouTube. My garage door just broke, and I looked it up, what was wrong with it on YouTube. So it's fixed now, because it was an easy fix, but free. YouTube.com, type that in, and look at for Abhyanga for VATA, Abhyanga for PITTA, Abhyanga for KAPHA, or what is Abhyanga. So that's that. So moving to, I'm going to skip taste for last, but the sight, think of the visuals, something that you don't want a visual that's going to make you anxious. So what colors are going to feel good here? What kind of scenery? Is it a beach scene? Is it a forest scene? Is it a scene of Disneyland? I don't know, but figure out what that is for you. What kind of sounds? I have a student who has she had a playlist called Depressive Mood. I told her to get rid of it. So if you have a depressive mood, sound up a playlist, get rid of it if you're already prone to depression. If you're feeling like this, make a sound, get a playlist that makes you feel uplifted. Get a playlist that isn't this thing that's saying F you and F that and making you all mad and angry all the time. Make a playlist if you're VATA to calm you down. So you have choices all the time, but you gotta choose wisely. But A, you gotta know what your condition is, or even take the time to figure out how you're feeling, if you're feeling your feelings, because most people don't. And then the smell, you gotta think of what smells are going to calm you down. Usually it's something like a mint is a cooling effect. If you have peppermint, spearmint, wintergreen, that's all very cooling. And then your uplifting is spice. I mean, from peppers to garlic to camphor, eucalyptus, things that have an uplifting, spicy effect. Clove, those are all spicy. So those are smells that will balance this. Now, when it comes to tastes, tastes are tricky. Did you get all this? I'm erasing it. You could pause. Because I need some space here. So, if you are, take Abhyanga down too. So for tastes, for the taste and the touch, that's more body. The smell, the sight, the sound is more mind balancing. So just FYI, note to self, but there's no hard lines, everything crosses over. But as far as the tastes are concerned, in Ayurveda, there are 6 tastes, there are 6 qualities, and those 6 tastes are sweet, sour, and salty. And then pungent, bitter, and astringent. Okay? So those are the 6 tastes. In Ayurveda, it's less and more. It's like not unlike you go to a doctor, you can't eat that, eat this, don't have that, eat this, don't have that. It's a little bit more balanced. The approach is more balanced and approachable because it's not so like hard line, hard no, and hard yes. It's like have a little bit more of this, a little less of that. If you want to, now you got to look these up, what sweet and because it's pretty complex. It's just, this is not going to the bakery. This is, sweet is like meat is sweet in considered Ayurveda. Sour, salty, you know. Pungent is the same as what we might know as spicy. Bitter, you're familiar with bitter, hopefully. And then astringent is more of an effect, like that's dry, like tea is drying, some apples are drying, some wine is considered dry, some pears are considered dry. Think of things that give you that effect of that drying effect in your mouth. So those are the 6 tastes. And if you're a Vata type, to balance Vata, you need to focus on these 3. So these 3 tastes here will balance Vata. If you're Vata, if you're all anxious already, spicy is going to make you more anxious. Bitter will make you more anxious. Dry is going to dry you out. You already have the ether air qualities, so that's going to be drying for you. If you are I'm going to skip over here first because it's easier, it's clearer. Where's my green? So if you are a KAPHA type, and that is like in America for overweight and things that have to do with your body, lifestyle disease like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, that is a lifestyle choice because you're eating too much of this. But what the KAPHA type needs to balance that, to release some of that stagnation, some of that earth water and get that out of you, you need to eat more pungent, bitter, and astringent. If you're gonna have eggs, throw a bunch of salsa on it, or add some bitter greens, or do something that's drying. So these 3 are what balance the KAPHA types. And again, remember, we're all of them, but we're just gonna be prone to more of one than the other, or more to probably 2 than all 3. And then the fire types, if you already run hot, I run hot. I have windows open, I like a cold pillow, and I can't have spicy food. It just makes me hot. I sweat. It's very heating and uncomfortable for my body. But things to balance, if I'm feeling hot already in my body or I'm angry about something, then what balances the Pitta type is this right here. Are these sweet, bitter, and astringent. That is how that works. Now, if you want to know what all those things are, you could go on YouTube for free and they will tell you everything. If you're a book person, get the book. And I think that is it for part 2. So that is part 2. If you're feeling like it, if you want to get a real good, nice explanation, that is the man to go to. Dr. Deepak Chopra, medical doctor, endocrinologist, very well trained, well-versed body-mind guy. And then she's newer. This is Sahara Rose, Eat, Feel Fresh. And she really complements the yoga with the Ayurveda, which I love, and the chakras. And before I close, I want to keep in mind for all of you who understand when you were born, think about when you were born, what your mother was eating, what was the season, what country were you in, were there pomegranates around at that time? Like, what were you eating at that time, or what was your mom eating? So if you are an earth sign, you're going to have these tendencies. Just keep that idea of earth, KAPHA, grounding. If all these things start crossing over, you're going to find that if you're very, very earthy, you might have that tendency to depression. It's just one of these things. You could take this or leave it, or just study it. All right, I dare you to prove me wrong, but here's what there's the earth types in your astrology, there's your water types, there's your fire types, and there's your air types. And this is the mental, this is the emotional, this is the spiritual. This is the mental, this is the spiritual, this is the solar plexus, solar sun, spiritual, spark, this is the emotional, and then this is the physical. There is this correlation, and start to look at the correlation with the chakras, with yoga, and with Ayurveda. And you'll see that you could be more strategic in balancing whatever your current condition is. Like freaking magic. Yes, and that's it. Thank you. Easy. It's not easy at all. It's so not easy, but it is simple if you try. Good job, humans. Thank you.